The bass thundered through my chest like a second heartbeat as I pushed through the heavy doors of Eclipse. I shouldn't have been here. I should have been home, wrapped in blankets, nursing my broken heart with ice cream and melodramatic K-dramas like any sensible Omega would after being dumped. But sensible had never really been my style. One more chance, Bu Kim. Gon's words still echoed in my head from 3 days ago. Just stop being so much. Stop expecting so much. Stop being so much. As if wanting your alpha to actually show up for your birthday dinner was asking for the moon. As if expecting fidelity was unreasonable. As if I was the problem. I made my way to the bar, the club's lights painting everything in shades of electric blue and violet. My suppressants were doing their job. No one would know what I was unless I wanted them to. Just another 25-year-old trying to forget. Soju, please. The strongest you have, I told the bartender, sliding onto a stool. Rough night. The bartender, a woman with silver hair and kind eyes, poured me a generous shot. Rough month. I downed it, welcoming the burn. Another, please. Drinking alone is dangerous in a place like this. The voice came from behind me, deep, smooth, with an edge that made my Omega instincts sit up and take notice even through the suppressants. I turned, ready with a sharp retort, and forgot how to breathe. He was beautiful in a way that seemed almost unfair. Sharp jawline, dark eyes that seemed to see through every defense I'd ever built, black hair styled perfectly despite the club's humid air. He wore a tailored black suit that probably cost more than my monthly rent, and he moved with the kind of confidence that came from never being told no. An alpha. Of course he was. I can handle myself, I said, turning back to my drink, trying to ignore the way my body responded to his presence. Stupid biology. I'm sure you can. He slid onto the stool beside me, close enough that I could smell his cologne, something expensive and woodsy with notes of bergamot. But humor me. I'm Woo Jun-san. He extended his hand. I stared at it for a moment, noting the expensive watch, the calluses that spoke of someone who did more than push papers despite the corporate appearance. Sun Bu Kim. I shook his hand briefly, trying to ignore the electricity that shot up my arm at the contact. And I'm really not interested in company tonight. What if I am? He signaled the bartender. 2 more of whatever he's having. And water. Presumptuous. Observant, he corrected. You've had 3 shots in 5 minutes. You're dressed like you're trying to disappear. His eyes traveled over my oversized black hoodie and jeans. And you're in a club but sitting as far from the dance floor as possible. You're not here to meet anyone. You're here to forget someone. I hated how accurate he was. And you're here to? I was going to say work, but then I saw you. His smile was slight, almost dangerous. Now I'm here because I'm intrigued. By a stranger at a bar? I accepted the shot the bartender placed in front of me. How original. By someone who looks like they're fighting themselves. He didn't touch his drink, just watched me with those impossibly dark eyes. And losing. Something about his directness cut through my defenses. Maybe it was the alcohol. Maybe it was 3 months of Gon's gaslighting, making me forget what honest communication felt like. Maybe I was just tired of pretending I was okay. My ex-boyfriend dumped me. I heard myself say. Said I was too demanding. Too emotional. Too much. Then he was an idiot. Jun-san's voice held absolute certainty. I laughed bitter. You don't even know me. I know you're here, alone, trying to process pain instead of running from it. I know you're smart enough to be cautious of strangers, but brave enough to engage anyway. I know that whoever he was, he didn't deserve you. Pretty words from someone who approached me 5 minutes ago. True words. He finally took his shot, his eyes never leaving mine. Want to know what else I know? I should have said no. Should have finished my drink and left. Should have recognized the danger in the way my heart raced when he looked at me. What? I asked instead. You're an Omega. He said it quietly, matter of fact. Very good suppressants, but I can tell. And before you panic, I don't care. I'm not one of those alphas who thinks designations matter more than the person. My hand tightened on my glass. How? I notice things other people miss. It's part of my job. He leaned closer, and I could feel the heat radiating from him. And I noticed that every alpha who's walked past you tonight, you've tensed up. Like you're expecting something. Violence. Assumption. Entitlement. All 3, I thought but didn't say. What do you want? I asked instead, trying to keep my voice steady. Honestly. His smile turned genuine, and it transformed his face from intimidating to devastating. To see you smile. You have the saddest eyes I've ever seen, Sun Bu Kim, and I'd very much like to change that, even if only for tonight. I'm not looking for a hookup. Good. Neither am I. He stood, offering his hand again. Dance with me. I don't dance. Liar. You were tapping your foot to the beat before I arrived. He was right, damn him. I had been. One dance, I found myself saying. Then you leave me alone. If that's what you want after, I'll disappear like I was never here. He helped me off the stool, his hand warm and steady around mine. But I don't think it is what you'll want. His arrogance should have annoyed me. Instead, it made me want to prove him wrong. The dance floor was packed, bodies moving in the strobing lights. Junsen led me to a slightly less crowded section, then pulled me close. Not inappropriately close. There was still space between us, but close enough that I could feel the solid warmth of him, the strength in his frame. The song was something electronic and hypnotic, all building bass and ethereal vocals. We started moving, and I realized Junsan actually could dance. Not the grinding that passed for dancing in most clubs, but actually move, leading me through the rhythm with subtle pressure and guidance. You're tense, he said, his breath warm against my ear. I'm dancing with a stranger who somehow knows I'm an omega and claims he's not like other alphas. Forgive me for being cautious. Fair. His hand on my waist was firm, but not possessive. What would make you trust me? Nothing. Trust is earned, not given. Wise. He spun me, and I couldn't help the small laugh that escaped. But you're smiling now. I was. Despite everything, despite my heartbreak and my caution and the warning bells in my head, I was smiling. Tell me about him. Junsen said as we fell back into rhythm. The ex. Why would I do that? Because talking about it helps. And because I'm a stranger you'll never see again, so what's the harm? Maybe it was the alcohol, or the music, or the fact that his hand on my waist felt more grounding than anything had in months, but I found myself talking. Gone doin'. We were together 8 months. He was charming at first. Attentive. Said all the right things. I let Junsen guide me through a turn. Then slowly, everything I did became wrong. I was too clingy when I wanted to spend time together. Too distant when I needed space. Too emotional when I was hurt. Too cold when I tried to protect myself. Classic manipulation, Junsen said, his voice hardening. Making you doubt your own reality. I started believing him. That I was the problem. That if I just tried harder, was better, less demanding. Stop. The command in his voice made me look up. His eyes were fierce. Listen to me very carefully, Sun Bu Kim. Wanting basic respect and attention from your partner isn't demanding. It's the bare minimum. He wasn't overwhelmed by you being too much. He was threatened by you being enough. Enough to know you deserved better. Something in my chest cracked open. I hadn't cried since the breakup, had held it all in, but suddenly my eyes were burning. Come on. Junsan's hand slid from my waist to take mine, and he led me off the dance floor, through a door marked private, up a flight of stairs to what looked like a VIP lounge. Empty. Quiet. The music was just a distant pulse now. This is mine, he said simply. I own Eclipse, along with several other businesses. Sit. I sat on one of the leather couches, trying to process this information. You own this place? Among others. He poured water from a pitcher on the bar, brought it to me. Drink. I did, grateful for the coolness, the clarity. Why did you bring me up here? Because you looked like you needed somewhere safe to break. He sat beside me, not touching but close. And because down there, everyone watches. Up here, it's just us. You really aren't like other alphas I've met. I should hope not. Most alphas are idiots who think their designation gives them rights instead of responsibilities. He turned toward me. Can I tell you something? I nodded. When I saw you at the bar, you know what I noticed first. Not your designation. Not even how beautiful you are, though you are. I noticed that you looked like you were holding the weight of the world, but refusing to let it crush you. And I thought, there's someone worth knowing. You can't know someone from looking at them. No, but you can recognize strength, resilience, worth. His hand moved to cup my face, thumb brushing my cheek. May I? I knew what he was asking. Should have said no. Should have left right then. Yes, I whispered instead. He kissed me soft, questioning, giving me every chance to pull away. I didn't. Instead, I leaned in, my hand fisting in his suit jacket as the kiss deepened. He tasted like soju and promise, and when his tongue swept against mine, I made a sound I'd be embarrassed about later. He pulled back, both of us breathing hard. That was, I started. A beginning, he finished. If you want it to be. I don't even know you. Then get to know me. His thumb was still tracing circles on my cheek. I'll make you a deal, Sun Bu Kim. Give me 1 week. 7 days. Let me show you what you deserve. How you should be treated. And at the end, if you want to walk away, I'll let you go. No questions, no pressure. That's insane. People don't just. I do. His smile was sure. When I know what I want. And I want to know everything about you. Every rational thought screamed that this was too fast, too much, potentially dangerous. But something deeper, something that had been dying under Gon's criticism and neglect, stirred to life. What exactly would this week entail? Dates. Real ones. Conversation. Getting to know each other. His eyes darkened slightly. And if you want, I can show you what it feels like to truly surrender. To trust someone with your pleasure, your body, your limits. To be cherished exactly as you are. My breath caught. You mean? I mean I'm a dominant, Bu Kim. Not in the toxic way your ex probably was, demanding submission while offering nothing in return. I mean real D/S. Where your trust is earned, your boundaries sacred, your pleasure paramount. Where too much doesn't exist because everything you are is exactly what I want. I should have been scared. Instead, I felt curious, excited, alive for the first time in months. And if I say yes to this insane proposal, then tomorrow night, I pick you up at 7. We have dinner. We talk. We see if this spark is real. He pressed another soft kiss to my lips. And we go from there. No expectations. No pressure. Just possibility. I looked into his eyes, searching for deception, for the warning signs I'd missed with Gon. But all I saw was intensity, certainty, and something that looked almost like reverence. Okay, I heard myself say. 1 week. His smile was brilliant. I promise you won't regret this. As he pulled me close, as we kissed again in the private quiet of his lounge, as I felt something in me begin to hope again, I tried not to think about how promises could be broken. I tried not to wonder what secrets might hide behind that devastating smile. I tried not to feel the first stirrings of something that felt dangerously like falling. But I was already tumbling, already lost, already his in ways I didn't yet understand. And somewhere in the shadows of Seoul, in the parts of the city where power and blood ran together, forces were moving that would test everything we were building. But that night, in Jun-san's arms, I let myself believe in new beginnings. Even if I had no idea what I was beginning. The next morning, I woke to sunlight streaming through my apartment windows and a text from an unknown number. Good morning, beautiful. I hope you don't regret last night. Wear something comfortable for dinner. I'll pick you up at 7. Jay. My heart did a stupid flutter. How did he get my number? Then I remembered. I'd programmed it into his phone before leaving Eclipse at 2 a.m., both of us grinning like teenagers. I was still staring at the message when my phone rang. Gon's name flashed on the screen. My finger hovered over the decline button, but curiosity won. What do you want? Bu Kim. His voice was rough, like he'd been crying. I made a mistake. The biggest mistake of my life. Please, can we talk? 3 days ago, I would have caved. Would have let him back in, believing I could be less, smaller, quieter. Now, with Jun-san's words still echoing in my mind, you deserve better, something had shifted. No, Gon. We're done. You don't mean that. Baby, please. I love you. I was just scared of how much I love you. You had 8 months to love me properly. You chose to tear me down instead. My voice was steady, stronger than I felt. I'm done being your emotional punching bag. It's someone else, isn't it? His tone turned venomous. Already spreading your legs for another alpha? That's rich, Bu Kim. You really are a... I hung up, hands shaking. Blocked his number. Then sat on my couch and cried. Not for him, but for the time I'd wasted, the pieces of myself I'd lost trying to be enough for someone who would never appreciate me. By the time 7 o'clock arrived, I'd showered, dressed in dark jeans and a soft blue sweater, and talked myself out of canceling approximately 17 times. The knock at my door came precisely on time. Jun-san stood in my hallway in black slacks and a charcoal button-down, holding a single white orchid. For you, he said, offering it. Orchids represent strength, beauty, and rare elegance. Seemed appropriate. I took the flower, my defenses crumbling. That's incredibly smooth. I have my moments. His smile was warm. Ready. The car waiting downstairs wasn't just expensive, it was ridiculous. A black Mercedes with a driver who nodded respectfully as Jun-san opened the door for me. This is too much, I said as we pulled into traffic. This is Tuesday. He laced his fingers through mine. You look beautiful, by the way. That color suits you. Where are we going? Somewhere we can talk without interruption. His thumb traced circles on my palm, sending pleasant shivers up my arm. I want to know everything about you, son Bu Kim. Everything is a lot. I have time. The restaurant was on the top floor of a building in Gangnam, the kind of place where reservations were made months in advance. We were led to a private room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the glittering city. How did you? I know the owner, Jun-sen said simply, pulling out my chair. Order anything. Everything. Whatever you want. Over galbijim and banchan, over soju and conversation, I found myself opening up in ways I hadn't with anyone. I told him about growing up with traditional parents who struggled with having an Omega son, about my dream of being a photographer, currently on hold while I worked at a coffee shop to pay rent, about my best friend Minjun who'd moved to Busan last year, leaving me feeling more alone than ever. Junsen listened like every word mattered, asked questions that showed he was really hearing me. And when I finally asked about him, his smile turned slightly guarded. I run a security company, he said, among other investments. It's complicated work. Security? Like bodyguards. Among other things. He poured us both more soju. I protect people. Assets. Interests. Sometimes from physical threats, sometimes from other kinds of danger. That's vague. It has to be. Client confidentiality. His eyes met mine. But I promise I'm not doing anything illegal. Just operating in gray areas sometimes. I should have pressed. Should have asked more questions. But he was looking at me like I was the only person in the world, and when he reached across the table to take my hand, I let him. I want to try something, he said. If you're comfortable. What? Close your eyes. I hesitated, then obeyed. Heard him move, then felt him behind my chair, his hands resting lightly on my shoulders. I'm going to touch you, he said softly. Nothing inappropriate. Just helping you feel. If you want me to stop at any point, say red. Can you do that? Yes, I whispered. His hands began to massage my shoulders, finding knots I didn't know I had. I melted back against him with a sigh. Good, he murmured. This is what surrender can feel like. Trusting someone else to take care of you. To know what you need. There's no shame in it, Bu Kim. No weakness. Surrender is a gift you give to someone worthy of it. His hands moved to my neck, my scalp, and I heard myself making small sounds of pleasure. You've been holding tension for so long, he said. Trying to be smaller, quieter, less. With me, you don't have to. You can be exactly who you are. Feel exactly what you feel. Want exactly what you want. What if what I want is too much? My eyes were still closed, my voice barely audible. Then I'll give you more. He pressed a kiss to the top of my head. Open your eyes. I did. He was kneeling beside my chair now, looking up at me with such intensity it stole my breath. I want to be clear about something, he said. This week isn't about convincing you to sleep with me. It's about showing you what you deserve. Respect, attention, care. If all you want is companionship and conversation, that's enough. If you want more, his hand cupped my face. I'll give you everything, but only what you're ready for. Only what you want. I kissed him, couldn't help it, leaned down and captured his lips with mine, pouring months of loneliness and pain and desperate hope into it. He responded immediately, one hand sliding into my hair, the other gripping my waist as he stood, pulling me up with him. The kiss deepened, turned hungry, and I gasped when his teeth caught my bottom lip. Bu Kim, he breathed against my mouth. Tell me what you want. I don't know, I admitted. I just know I don't want this to stop. Then it won't. He kissed me again, softer. We'll take this at your pace. No rushing. No pressure. The rest of dinner passed in a haze of conversation and heated glances. He told me about growing up in Seoul, about his younger sister who was studying medicine in America, about his love of classical music and terrible action movies. When he drove me home, the driver mysteriously absent, just the two of us in the car, he walked me to my door like a gentleman. Tomorrow, he said, I want to take you somewhere special. Bring your camera. My camera? You said photography is your dream. I want to see the world through your eyes. He kissed my forehead. Sleep well, beautiful. I watched him walk away, my heart racing, my mind whirling. Inside, I found a package on my kitchen counter. Inside was a new camera lens, professional grade, worth more than I made in 3 months, and a note, for capturing beauty. Though the most beautiful thing I've seen needs no lens to be unforgettable. J. I should have been alarmed by the extravagance, by how much money he clearly had, how easily he spent it, by the fact that he'd somehow gotten into my locked apartment to leave this. Instead, I clutched the note to my chest and smiled. I was falling, rapidly, dangerously, and I couldn't bring myself to care. The next 3 days passed like a dream. Jun-san took me to Bukshan Hanok village at dawn, where I photographed traditional houses bathed in golden light while he watched with soft eyes, to a private art gallery where he'd arranged for us to be alone among masterpieces, to a cooking class where we made japchae and laughed when I accidentally flung noodles across the kitchen. Each night we grew closer, more comfortable. He'd hold me on his couch while we watched movies, his hands running through my hair. Kiss me breathless in his car before walking me to my door. Touch me in ways that made me ache for more, but never pushing past my boundaries. Patience, he'd murmur when I whimpered in frustration. Good things come to those who wait. On the fourth night, I invited him inside. We made it to the couch before he had me pinned beneath him, his mouth on my neck, my hands desperate on his shoulders. "Boo Kim," he groaned. "You're killing me." "Then stop being so restrained," I challenged, rolling my hips up against him. His eyes darkened. "You don't know what you're asking for." "Then show me." I pulled him down for a bruising kiss. "Please, Jun-san. I trust you." Those words seemed to break something in him. He stood, pulling me up with him, and led me to my bedroom. What happened next was transcendent. He was demanding but attentive, dominant but caring, pushing me to the edge and catching me every time. He learned my body like a language, found every sensitive spot, every way to make me gasp and plead and surrender completely. And when I finally shattered in his arms, he held me through it, murmuring praise and devotion against my skin. Afterward, we lay tangled together, my head on his chest, his fingers tracing patterns on my shoulder. "I'm falling for you," I admitted quietly. "I know it's only been 4 days, but—" "I know." He kissed my hair. "I'm falling too. This feels too good to be real." His body tensed slightly. "Boo Kim." His phone rang, cutting him off. He glanced at the screen and cursed. "I'm sorry. I have to take this." He kissed me quickly and stepped into the living room. I couldn't hear his words, but his tone was sharp, authoritative. The voice of someone used to giving orders and being obeyed. When he returned, his expression was troubled. "I have to go. Business emergency. At midnight. My work isn't exactly 9 to 5. He dressed quickly, efficiently. "I'll call you tomorrow." "Jun-san, what kind of security company operates like this?" He paused at my bedroom door, something like guilt flashing across his face. "The kind that keeps very important people safe. I promise I'll explain everything. Just trust me a little longer." After he left, I lay in bed, his scent still on my sheets, and tried to ignore the growing unease in my gut. I grabbed my phone to distract myself and found 17 missed calls from an unknown number. Voicemails too. I played the first one. "Boo Kim, it's gone. Please just listen. I know I messed up, but I can change. I love you. Please give me another chance." Delete. The second. "I saw you. With him. Getting into his fancy car. Is that what this is about? Money. I can't believe you'd." Delete. The third made my blood run cold. "You have no idea who you're fucking around with, do you? Woo Jun-san. Jesus Christ, Boo Kim. He's not some businessman. He's dangerous. Like actually dangerous. I'm trying to protect you. Call me back before you get hurt." I sat up, heart pounding. Opened my laptop and searched Jun-san's name. Most results were business profiles. CEO of Woo Security Solutions. Investor. Philanthropist. But buried deeper in forums and anonymous posts, I found other things. Whispers about connections to the Biko syndicate. About people who crossed him disappearing. About violence hidden behind expensive suits and charitable donations. No, it couldn't be true. Gon was just jealous, trying to manipulate me. But then I remembered. The ease with which Jun-san moved through the city. The deference people showed him. The way he'd known I was an omega through suppressants. That took either training or experience with similar techniques. The late-night calls. The vague explanations. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "If you want to know who Woo Jun-san really is, meet me tomorrow. 3 p.m., Cafe Bora in Itaewon. Come alone. A friend." I didn't sleep that night. I went to the cafe. Of course I went. The woman waiting for me was in her 30s, elegant in a tailored suit, with eyes that had seen too much. "Son Boo Kim." She gestured to the seat across from her. "I'm Park Ji-woo. I'm a prosecutor with the Seoul Central District." My stomach dropped. "What?" "I'm going to be direct because we don't have much time." She slid a folder across the table. "Woo Jun-san is under investigation. Has been for 2 years. We believe he's the head of one of Seoul's largest organized crime operations, hidden behind legitimate business fronts." The folder contained photos. Jun-san meeting with known criminals. Financial records suggesting money laundering. And worst of all, crime scene photos with notations suggesting his involvement. "No," I whispered. "He said he wasn't doing anything illegal." "Of course he did." Her voice wasn't unkind. "Men like him are very good at compartmentalizing. At making people believe what they want to believe. Why are you telling me this?" "Because we need your help." She leaned forward. "You're the first person he's been romantically involved with in years. The first one who might actually matter to him. If you wear a wire, Get him to talk about his business. Absolutely not. I stood so fast my chair scraped loudly. I won't betray him. Even if he's a criminal? Even if he's hurt people? I don't know what he is. My voice broke. But I'm not going to spy on someone who's been nothing but kind to me based on accusations. They're not accusations. They're facts. She stood too. But I can see you're not ready to hear this. Keep the folder. When you're ready to see clearly, call me. She left a business card and walked away. I sat back down, hands shaking, and opened the folder again. Really looked this time. The evidence was damning. Circumstantial perhaps, but damning. My phone rang. Jun-san. Hey, beautiful. I'm sorry about last night. Let me make it up to you. Dinner at my place tonight. I should have said no. Should have confronted him. Instead, I heard myself say, okay, perfect. I'll send a car at 7. And book him. I missed you. I missed you too, I said, and hated that it was true. His penthouse was in Gangnam, all floor-to-ceiling windows and modern luxury. He greeted me at the door in jeans and a simple black t-shirt, somehow even more devastating casual. You look troubled, he said, cupping my face. What's wrong? This was my chance. To ask. To demand the truth. Just tired, I lied. Work was busy. Dinner was homemade bulgogi, which he'd apparently cooked himself. We ate on his balcony overlooking the city, and he told me about his day, and I tried not to think about the folder in my bag. After dinner, he pulled me onto the couch, arranged me between his legs with my back to his chest, and just held me. Can I ask you something? I said quietly. Anything. What do you really do, Jun-san? Not the vague answers. The truth. His arms tightened around me. Why are you asking? Because I'm falling in love with you, and I need to know who I'm falling for. He was silent for a long moment. Then, I protect people. Powerful people who have powerful enemies. Sometimes that means operating outside the law. Sometimes it means making difficult choices. Getting my hands dirty. How dirty? Dirty enough that you should probably walk away. His voice was pained. I've hurt people, Boo Kim. People who deserved it. People who were threats, but still. I'm not a good man. Have you killed anyone? I had to know. Another long silence. Yes. I should have run. Should have grabbed my bag and never looked back. Instead, I turned in his arms to face him. Were they going to hurt someone else? Yes. Always. His eyes were raw, vulnerable. I don't kill innocents. I don't traffic in drugs or people. I don't hurt those who can't defend themselves. But I do enforce order in a world that has none. I do protect my people by any means necessary. And I do things that would horrify you if you knew the details. Why are you telling me this? Because you asked for the truth. And because he cupped my face in both hands. Because I love you. I've loved you since the moment you looked at me with those sad, defiant eyes and told me you could handle yourself. And you deserve to know who you're giving your heart to. My eyes filled with tears. I don't know what to do with this. Walk away, he said, even as it clearly cost him. Walk away and find someone safe. Someone who won't drag you into the darkness. Someone who can give you the normal life you deserve. What if I don't want normal? The words surprised me. What if I want you? Then you're braver than I deserve. He kissed me desperately. But I need you to understand, my world is dangerous. People will try to use you to get to me. You'll always be looking over your shoulder. And if you stay, you can never tell anyone about what I do. You'll have to lie to everyone you know. I don't have anyone, I whispered. My parents barely speak to me. Minjun is in Busan. I have my job and my dreams and that's it. You're the first person in years who's made me feel like I matter. You matter more than anything. His forehead pressed against mine. But I need you to be sure. Take time. Think about this. Because once you're in, once you really know everything, there's no going back. Instead of answering, I kissed him. Poured every confused emotion into it. Fear and desire and love and terror all mixed together. We made love again that night. Slower this time, more tender. And when he held me after, I made my decision. I'm staying, I said. Whatever you are, whatever you've done, I'm staying. His arms tightened around me. God help us both. Neither of us saw the camera hidden in the penthouse's decorations. Neither of us knew that Park Ji-woo had gotten her warrant. Neither of us knew that everything was about to explode. I woke alone. Jun-san's side of the bed was cold. On his pillow was a note. Had to handle something urgent. Stay as long as you like. The penthouse is yours. Everything I have is yours. Jay. I showered, borrowed one of his shirts, and was making coffee when my phone exploded with notifications. News alerts. Social media tags. Texts from numbers I didn't recognize. With shaking hands, I opened the first news link. Breaking. Organized crime figure Wu Junsan arrested in dawn raid. The article showed photos of Junsan in handcuffs, being led from a building downtown. Not his penthouse. Somewhere else. Prosecutors allege Wu has been operating Seoul's largest organized crime syndicate behind the front of legitimate businesses. Evidence includes financial records, witness testimony, and surveillance footage. My phone rang. Park Ji-woo. Don't hang up, she said immediately. I know you're angry, but you need to listen. We executed the warrant this morning. We have enough to put him away for 20 years. But we're offering a deal. I'm not helping you. Not for us. For him. That made me pause. If he cooperates, provides testimony against his partners and associates, we can reduce his sentence to 5 years. Maybe less with good behavior. He could still have a life after this. Why are you telling me? Because he won't take the deal. Says he won't betray people who trusted him, even if they're criminals. But he might listen to you. Her voice softened. I've been doing this a long time, Sun Bu Kim. I know the difference between monsters and men who made bad choices. Wu is the latter. Give him a chance to prove it. She hung up. I was still staring at my phone when the penthouse door burst open. Gon stood there, breathless, and I realized with horror that I'd never told him my location. He'd followed me. Thank God you're okay. He rushed toward me. When I saw the news, I was terrified he'd done something to you. Get out, Gon. Bu Kim, please. I know I screwed up, but I've been trying to protect you. I told you he was dangerous. Now you see I was right. Come home with me. We can start over. You don't get it, do you? I backed away from him. I don't want you. I don't love you. I haven't for months. You made me feel worthless, and I stayed because I thought the problem was me. But it wasn't. It was you. He's a criminal. Gon's voice rose. He's probably been using you this whole time. He's been more honest with me in 1 week than you were in 8 months. I grabbed my bag. Don't contact me again. Don't follow me. Don't even think about me. We're done. I left him standing there and went to find Junsan. The detention center wouldn't let me see him. I wasn't family, wasn't his lawyer, wasn't on any approved list. I went to his office instead. Wu Security Solutions occupied 3 floors of a high-rise in Gangnam. Security was heightened due to the news, but I talked my way past the lobby. His secretary, a woman named Mrs. Choi, looked at me with knowing eyes. You're him, aren't you? The one he's been. She smiled sadly. He talked about you. More than he's talked about anyone in the 10 years I've worked for him. I need to see him. His lawyer can arrange it. She wrote down a name and number. And Mr. Sun? Whatever you decide, he needs to know he's not alone. He's spent so long protecting everyone else. Maybe it's time someone protected him. The lawyer, a sharp woman named Kong Min-hee, got me a visit the next day. Junsan looked tired. Still beautiful, but with shadows under his eyes. When he saw me through the glass partition, his expression crumbled. You shouldn't be here, he said through the phone. Where else would I be? I pressed my hand against the glass. He matched it from his side. Away from me. Safe. Building the life you deserve. The prosecutor offered you a deal. I know. Why won't you take it? Because the people they want me to testify against are my family. Not by blood, but by choice. They trusted me to protect them, and I won't betray that. His voice was firm. Even if it means 20 years. What about me? My voice broke. What about us? There is no us. Not anymore. But his eyes were wet. You'll move on. Find someone worthy of you. Live the beautiful life you. Stop telling me what I'll do. I was crying now. Stop deciding for me. You said surrender was a gift I could give to someone worthy. That trust had to be earned. You've earned mine, Junsan. You've shown me what real respect looks like. Real care. Real love. So don't you dare take that choice away from me now. Bu Kim. I love you. The words came out fierce. I love you knowing exactly what you are. And I will wait. 5 years, 20 years, whatever it takes. Because you're worth waiting for. You're insane, he whispered. Probably. I smiled through my tears. But I've never been more sure of anything. He was quiet for a long moment. Then, if I take the deal, 5 years. I'd be out when you're 30. Still young enough to build a life together. Then take it. I'd be betraying people who trusted me. You'd be choosing a future over a past. Choosing love over loyalty to people who used you as much as you used them. I leaned closer to the glass. Choose me, Junsan. Choose us. His hand trembled against the partition. You're the strongest person I've ever met. I learned from the best. He made the call to his lawyer right there. Took the deal. Gave testimony that brought down 3 major crime families while protecting his own people as much as he could. The trial was brutal. The media attention worse. But I was there every day, front row, letting him see that he wasn't alone. When the judge sentenced him to 5 years with possibility of parole in 3, I watched him turn and mouth, "I love you." I mouthed it back. 3 years later. The prison visiting room was more familiar than my own apartment now. I'd been coming every week for 3 years, documenting Junsan's time inside through letters and photographs and visits. My photography career had taken off. Galleries were showing my work, magazines buying my photos. Turns out the Omega who loved a gangster was compelling enough to get people to actually look at my art. I didn't care about the reason, only that I was finally living my dream. "You look happy," Junsan said, studying me across the table. "We could touch now, hold hands." Small mercies. "I am. My exhibition opens next week." I squeezed his fingers. "Wish you could be there. 2 more months." His smile was real, reaching his eyes. Parole came through. 2 more months and I'm free. My heart soared. "Junsan, I've been thinking about what comes after." He lifted my hand to his lips. "I'm done with that life. Done with violence and secrets and danger. Mrs. Choi has been running the legitimate parts of the business. She's brilliant at it.